A crash echoes through Sweet Haven Bakery. Sarah Nguyen, mop in hand, freezes as the wedding cake collapses. Evelyn's sneer stings, but something sparks in Sarah. Could her hidden talent turn this disaster into triumph? The TM Bakery hums like a living thing. Mixers churn, ovens beep, and the air carries the warm, dizzying scent of vanilla and sugar. Sweet Haven sits on the edge of a Chicago suburb, its glass windows fogged with the promise of fresh pastries. Inside, Sarah Nguyen moves like a shadow, her mop gliding across sticky floors. She's 25, with dark hair pulled into a messy bun, her apron smeared with flour she didn't get to use. She's not a baker here. She's the cleaner, the one who erases the day's chaos after the real work is done. Sarah's hands know the weight of a mop better than a piping bag. She watches the bakers, their hands quick and sure, shaping dough into art. Envy twists in her gut, sharp and familiar. She could do that, she thinks, if only her brain would cooperate. Letters dance on recipe cards, numbers blur into nonsense. Dyslexia turns every written instruction into a puzzle she can't solve. She tried once early on to mix a batch of batter. The result was a lumpy mess, and Evelyn Carter, the star decorator, hasn't let her forget it. "Hey Sarah, you planning to read the floor clean?" Evelyn's voice cuts through the noise, sharp as a knife. She's leaning against the counter, her blonde hair perfect, under a hairnet, her hands busy piping roses onto a cupcake. The other bakers chuckle, and Sarah's face burns. She keeps mopping, her grip tightening. "Chill out, Evelyn," says Maya Jackson, a new baker with a warm smile and braids tucked under her cap. She's 22, still learning, but her kindness makes Sarah's shoulders relax a fraction. Sarah's doing her thing. Evelyn snorts. Her thing is making a mess. Can't even read a label, can she? Sarah's chest tightens. She wants to snap back to say something clever, but the words tangle in her throat. Instead, she focuses on the floor, the wet streaks her mop leaves behind. She knows Evelyn's right about one thing. Reading is her enemy. But there's something else, something she hasn't told anyone. When she watches Evelyn pipe those roses, or Maya knead dough, Sarah sees patterns. Color shapes, swirls that live in her mind like a painting waiting to happen. If only she could get them out. The bell above the door jingles, and Mr. Luis Delgado strides in. He's 50, broad-shouldered, with a face that looks carved from stone. His voice carries without effort, and his dark eyes miss nothing. "Sarah," he says, pausing by her mop bucket. "You dropped a vanilla bottle again. Clean it up." Sarah nods, her stomach sinking. "Yes, sir." She hurries to the spill, the sharp scent of vanilla stinging her nose. Evelyn smirks, but Mr. Delgado's already moving on, barking orders about a big wedding cake due tomorrow. 5 tiers covered in buttercream roses, a masterpiece Sarah will only get to clean up after. That night, alone in her tiny apartment, Sarah sits at her kitchen table, her phone glowing. She's downloaded an app for people with Dyslexia 1 that turns recipes into pictures and color-coded charts. She scrolls through a cupcake recipe, her finger tracing the images, a blue square for flour, a red circle for sugar. Her heart races. Maybe she can do this. She grabs a cheap piping bag from a dollar store and practices on a plate, squeezing out shaky swirls of frosting. They're messy, but they feel right, like her hands are finally speaking. The next morning, Sweet Haven is a storm of activity. The wedding cake towers in the back, a monument of sugar and skill. Sarah mops around it, careful not to breathe too hard. Evelyn's in her element, piping delicate roses, her hands moving like a machine. Maya struggles with her own batch of cupcakes, muttering about measurements. Sarah pauses, watching Maya's hands, seeing the rhythm they could follow if she just adjusted her grip. "Yo, Sarah, you gonna stare all day or work?" Evelyn snaps, breaking her trance. Sarah flinches, her mop clattering against the bucket. The sound draws Mr. Delgado's eyes, and she braces for another scolding. But then it happens. A crash, loud and final. The wedding cake tilts, then collapses tears, sliding into a heap of buttercream and broken dreams. Gasps fill the room. Evelyn freezes, her piping bag dripping. Maya covers her mouth. Mr. Delgado's face darkens like a storm cloud. "Who did this?" he roars. No one answers. Evelyn's quick to point. Sarah was right. There wasn't she. Probably knocked it over with her clumsy mop. Sarah's mouth goes dry. "I didn't touch it," she says, her voice small. "I swear." Mr. Delgado's eyes narrow, but before he can speak, Maya steps forward. "It wasn't Sarah. I saw Evelyn bump the table when she grabbed more frosting. She was rushing." Evelyn's face reddens. "That's a lie, I didn't." "Enough." Mr. Delgado cuts her off. "We'll fix this. Sarah, clean it up. Everyone else back to work." Sarah kneels in the mess, her hands trembling as she scoops buttercream into a trash bin. Tears prick her eyes, but she blinks them away. She didn't cause this, but she's still the one on her knees. As she works, something shifts. The buttercream swirls under her fingers, the colors blending like a sunset. She sees it again, those patterns in her mind, begging to come out. Without thinking, she grabs a spare piping bag from the counter, fills it with leftover frosting, and starts to move. Her hands shake, but they know what to do. She pipes a swirl, then another, creating a design that looks like waves crashing on a shore. It's not perfect, but it's alive. She doesn't notice the room going quiet, or Maya pulling out her phone to record. She doesn't see Evelyn's jaw drop, or Mr. Delgado pause in the doorway. When she finally stops, her breath catches. The ruined cake is gone, replaced by a small, messy masterpiece on a spare board. "What is this, Mr. Delgado's voice is low, but not angry. Sarah freezes, expecting a lecture. Instead, he steps closer, his eyes tracing her design. "You did this." Sarah nods, her throat tight. I saw it in my head." Evelyn scoffs. "A lucky fluke. She can't even write her own name right." "Shut it, Evelyn," Maya says, holding up her phone. "I posted this on the bakery's Instagram. It's got 200 likes already." Mr. Delgado's face is unreadable, but his voice softens. "Sarah, come to my office after your shift." The rest of the day is a blur. Sarah mops, scrubs, and avoids Evelyn's glares. Maya's grin keeps her grounded, but her stomach churns. What does Mr. Delgado want to fire her to yell? When she knocks on his office door, her hands are clammy. "Sit," he says, pointing to a chair. His desk is cluttered with receipts and recipe books. "That design you made, where'd you learn it?" "Nowhere." Sarah says, her voice barely above a whisper. "I just see things, shapes, colors. But reading recipes, it's hard. I mess up because the words don't stay still." He leans back, studying her. "Dyslexia." She nods, bracing for pity. Instead, he pulls out a flyer. "Midwest Cake Expo. Big competition next week. I want you to enter." Sarah's eyes widen. "Me, but I'm not a baker." "You are now," he says, sliding the flyer across the desk. "Show me I'm not wrong about you." The next week is chaos. Sarah practices every night, her apartment a mess of frosting and crumbs. The app on her phone becomes her lifeline, turning recipes into visuals she can understand. Maya helps during breaks, sneaking her extra supplies. Evelyn, meanwhile, doubles down. She leaves complicated recipes on Sarah's station, smirking when Sarah struggles to decode them. But Sarah's learning. She doesn't need words. She needs her hands, her eyes, her heart. The expo is a riot of color and noise. Booths line the convention center, each showcasing cakes that look like sculptures. Sarah's station is small, her tools basic. Evelyn's across the aisle, her sugar flowers gleaming under the lights. Mr. Delgado paces nearby, his face a mask of focus. Maya gives Sarah a thumbs up from the crowd. "Ready?" Maya calls. Sarah nods, her stomach in knots. "As I'll ever be." The whistle blows. and the competition begins. Sarah ignores the chaos, focusing on her plan, a simple sponge cake decorated with bold, abstract swirls inspired by a starry night. She mixes batter by feel, trusting the app's color-coded guide. Her hands move faster now, surer. But then she notices something off. The sugar jar on her station looks wrong, its contents too coarse, too pale. She dips a finger, tastes it. Salt. Her eyes flick to Evelyn, who's watching with a smug smile. Sarah's pulse races. She could call a judge, make a scene. But that's not her style. Instead, she grabs a fresh jar from Maya's station, her hands steady. She won't let Evelyn win like this. Hours pass in a blur. Sarah pipes her design, layering colors, like a painter. Blue fades into gold, dotted with sugar shards that catch the light like broken glass. It's not the tallest cake or the fanciest, but it feels like her. When the final bell rings, she steps back, breathless. The judges approach, clipboards in hand. They pause at her station, whispering. One nods, another smiles. Sarah's heart flips. Evelyn's cake is a marvel, sugar flowers, cascading down tears like a waterfall. But her face falters when the judges linger at Sarah's station. The crowd murmurs as the announcements begin. Third place goes to a chocolate tower. Second, to a sponge sugar forest. Sarah braces herself, expecting nothing. Then, the head judge steps forward. First place for bold artistry and unexpected vision goes to Sarah Nguyen. The room erupts. Maya whoops, rushing to hug her. Mr. Delgado's lips twitch, almost a smile. Evelyn's face is a mask of shock, her hands clenched. Sarah steps onto the podium, a certificate trembling in her hands. Cameras flash, and a reporter shoves a mic in her face. "How'd you do it?" the reporter asks. "What's your secret?" Sarah hesitates, then smiles. No secret, just seeing things a little different. That night, Maya's video of Sarah's cake hits TikTok. By morning, it has 10,000 likes and a comment from a food magazine editor. Back at Sweet Haven, the air feels different. Evelyn's quieter, her snipes replaced by grudging silence. Mr. Delgado calls a staff meeting, his voice gruff but clear. "We're changing things," he says. "Recipes will have pictures, videos. No one gets left behind." Sarah blinks, stunned. Maya nudges her, grinning. "Told you he's not so bad." The changes come slowly. Sarah's no longer just the cleaner. She decorates now, her designs drawing crowds to the bakery's Instagram. Evelyn starts copying her swirls, calling them inspired. Sarah lets it slide. Victory isn't about Evelyn. It's about the weight in her hands, the hum of creation. One Thursday, a girl slips into the bakery, her fingers tracing the swirls on a cupcake in the display case. She's 10, with dark hair like Sarah's, her eyes darting over the price tags. Sarah notices the frown, the way her gaze skitters. "Something wrong with those numbers?" Sarah asks, keeping her voice soft. The girl Lila shrugs. "I don't read so good. They get all mixed up." Sarah's heart twists, but she smiles. "Reading's overrated for cake. Come here, tell me what you like. Colors, sprinkles." They spend 20 minutes at the counter, Lila picking frosting shades and piling on rainbow sprinkles. Her tongue sticks out as she pipes a wobbly star, just like Sarah used to. Lila's mom, a tired woman in scrubs, pays with a grateful nod. "You made her day," she says. As Lila leaves, clutching her cupcake, Mr. Delgado watches from the doorway. His face is the same old frown, but his eyes linger. He turns away without a word, but the next morning, a notebook appears on Sarah's station. It's filled with recipes, not words, but drawings. Flour in blue cups, sugar in red circles, temperatures marked with colored swirls. Sarah's throat tightens. She looks up, catching Mr. Delgado's nod from across the room. Sarah beams, knowing this is home. She stands taller now, her apron dusted with sugar, her hands steady. Sweet Haven isn't perfect, but it's hers. She's not just cleaning up anymore. She's making magic, sharing it with everyone who walks through the door. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's everything.